Hey church, this week as we continue our look into Philippians chapter 3, we're going to be looking at some good examples and some bad examples. You know, we all learn by examples. I mean, if you think about it, from the time you were a small child, you watched and you learned what other people did. We still do the same thing today. I mean, if you need to use a new app on your phone, you're going to ask somebody to show you how to use it, or on your computer, how that really all works. It's just the human thing to do. We watch and we learn by examples. Well, that can be a good thing. It can be a bad thing. Now, previous to this, back in chapter 2 of Philippians, Paul told us that Jesus was actually our ultimate example. But now when you get to chapter 3, he's going to actually throw himself into the mix and tell people they could imitate him. Sounds like kind of a risky thing to do, but he knows it's a very practical thing. They can watch him and to see how he reacts. You know, he tells us we need to be very careful. There are some examples that we can follow that we really need. But there are some examples biblically that we should avoid. In fact, Paul calls them here in chapter 3 enemies of the gospel. There were sort of a pseudo-religious people that were sort of challenging the gospel message. So what Paul's going to do is he's going to give us some ways that we can really spot them. First of all, he's going to tell us that their priorities really are all about their own desires. Pretty easy to see that they're really into what they want. Plus, they celebrate the wrong things we really shouldn't be celebrating. This is what they do. And then finally, that they're really earthly minded as opposed to being heavenly minded. It's all about them. Now, when you get to the end of chapter 3, Paul's going to give us some characteristics of a good example, and it has everything to do with their priorities. This is a group of people who saw their citizenship as in heaven, and they really eagerly are awaiting the Lord's return. There's a big difference between the two examples. So come this week, either Thursday or Sunday, as we study through God's Word and we look at good and bad examples. God bless you. See you there.